I am Noriko Goldford, and this is Uncut News. Well, people, it looks like Dr. Jennifer Westford is good for something besides just stealing cars. Because the GPSU said that it is now giving the government 2 weeks to meet their demands before they go on strike for reals this time. The GPSU and the government have since entered into formal negotiations. As we've previously reported, the workers are demanding an increase in salary, risk allowances, and other benefits. They also want the risk allowances to be granted to all of the nation's healthcare workers, not just the frontline ones. Good. Hopefully reason can prevail between the two sides over the coming days. Harman has written to the Prime Minister, calling for the removal of Roshan Khan from the Ethnic Relations Commission. As you know, this individual continues to talk bare racist crap on Facebook, and yet he is still an ERC commissioner. Nonsense. Harman's letter comes after multiple complaints regarding Khan's questionable and at times straight-up divisive posts on Facebook. Although I wouldn't be surprised if nothing comes of this. We're going through a tense period in the nation's history, and the ERC has been sitting there pathetic and helpless like an amputee boxing Mike Tyson. With the telecommunications sector finally liberalized, Digicel has plans to be the next internet provider in the nation. The company said that it plans to land a subsea fiber optic cable and expand its mobile data network across the country. They are currently in the middle of one of the largest upgrades of the system since its entry into the markets in 2006. They are hoping to complete major aspects of the upgrade by year's end. Best Buy Auto Sales is Guyana's #1 auto dealer. Their prices are competitive, and they sell their vehicles with warranty, so you can have some peace of mind. Visit their showrooms at 171 Peter Rose Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamaha Street, Georgetown, and find out about their special Christmas deal. On Tuesday, Karen Taylor was acquitted for the murder of 22-year-old Sanasi Lewis. Taylor was accused of fatally shooting Lewis on September 4th, 2015 in front of the Ghetto Flex nightclub in Old Boys Town. Haha, Ghetto Flex. What a name. Anyway, he pleaded not guilty and was released after his attorney successfully filed a no-case submission. Originally, Taylor was jointly charged with Clyde Ford, also known as Helsinki, for the murder. Ford was fatally shot by police after he escaped from the Lusignan prison in July 2017. And it actually turns out that he is not the only person to be released after years on remand. 30-year-old Desmond James was released after serving 6 years. James was on trial for the murder of Glendon Cox on September 1st, 2014 at 4 miles Arakaka Bakdam, Northwest District. He pleaded not guilty to the indictment. The charge against James was discharged after his attorney also successfully made a no-case submission. And it actually turns out that James was one of 6 prisoners who escaped from Camp Street in 2017. Police later found James hiding in an abandoned shack at Canal Number 1. But I guess that makes sense. It's probably why he escaped, because he felt that he was innocent the whole time. Hell, I might have escaped too. Anyway, Deputy Chief Elections Officer Roxanne Myers has been in police custody since yesterday after she turned herself in at CID headquarters. This was following a period of time of over a month, during which several efforts were made by the police to contact Myers even at her place of work in relation to the post-March 2nd elections debacle. Upon her surrender, the police arrested her for the offense of conspiracy to defraud. She has since exercised her right to remain silent, which means that Myers doesn't believe in snitching. Lawbreakers in the hinterland beware! The government has plans to build 4 new police stations and rehabilitate one on the coast, which means you will soon be able to pay your bribes and have your rights trampled on in the comfort of a modern air-conditioned facility. How nice. The construction is being done under the Citizen Security and Strengthening Program, the same IDB-funded program that also saw the installation of hundreds of wallway security cameras around town. The new police stations will be built at Wim and Albion in East Berbice, Mardia, Region 8, and Wismar-Linden, while the Parika police station will be renovated. Under the CSSP, 18 police stations will be modernized nationwide. So far, 12 have been completed. Don't fall for these get-rich-quick schemes, people. There is a legit way you can earn some extra cash to supplement your existing hustle. Sell Top Up. You could become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-31009 for more info. It's now time for your daily Rona update. Today, the nation recorded 104 new cases of the Rona. Oh my. The total number of deaths now stands at 95, which means more people have died. There are now 15 persons in the ICU and 939 persons in home isolation. The total number of known cases in the country is now 3,292. So, people, please, wash your hands frequently. Avoid touching your nose and mouth and mask up before you leave the house. When you do leave home, try to avoid enclosed spaces and large crowds. And remember to give 6 feet of space between you and others. Now, let's take a look at news in the region and around the world. While we are celebrating the end of JT&T's coursing monopoly on this nation, the Trinidadian government has announced that it has plans to liberalize the liquid petroleum fuel market. According to officials, the government's policy of subsidizing petroleum products was solidified in the mid-1970s when the price of oil began to escalate on the international market. These subsidies helped to make oil more affordable for Trinis. But now the government claims that such a policy is now counterproductive as oil prices have dropped sharply since then and the economy, or at least the oil industry, has greatly expanded as well. The United States government has announced that it will tighten the requirements for the popular H1B Visa. These visas are widely used by tech firms and visa recipients are mostly Indian and Chinese. No, not East Indian from here. No, people. I'm talking about India from the country, as well as from China. These temporary visas are intended to allow U.S. companies to use foreign workers to fill skill gaps, which there are many. I mean, come on, this is Trumpistan. They're not that smart. But the Trump administration says the visa has been abused, often at the expense of American workers, which basically means that people come over there, they do too good, and then you have these stupid Americans don't get a job and now they get pissed off. Up to 85,000 people are granted an H1B visa each year, and about 500,000 people are currently living in the United States under the visa program. According to the US Department of Labor Statistics, more than 2/3 of H1B visa holders come from India, and more than 10% from China. So don't worry, people, your visitor visa is safe for now. Now is a good time to remind you that robbery season is back. If I were you, I would consider getting security for the home or business. Sheriff Security Service is a good choice. I find that they are the most professional with well-trained armed or unarmed guards. Get some security this Christmas, people! And now for our weird news story of the day. As you already know, people are always finding new and interesting ways to scam the system. Now, city auditors in Austin, Texas say former public library employee Randall Whitehead fraudulently bought $1.5 million in printer toner, stole at least $1.3 million worth of it, and then sold it online over a 12-year period. Whitehead was an accounting associate for the Austin Public Library. As such, he also had access to 10 library credit cards and put at least $18,000 on them to buy video games, virtual reality headsets, robotic vacuums, and even a drone. His scheme was laid bare after auditors estimated that the library system would have only needed about $150,000 worth of toner over the period of time in question, which was 12 years. He was since fired and is currently facing multiple theft charges. Moving on to our Uncut News viewers poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So, you give your responses in the comments, and we'll read the best ones in the following episode. Yesterday's question was, what development project are you most excited about? Timothy Deodot said, the government makes great plans to enrich the private sector, but still yet do nothing. No good development in the countryside, and make people live better with jobs and not think of leaving Guyana. Exactly right. And Jay Jairam says, the coming developments will only benefit cronies and the wealthy. No poor Guyanese will benefit from them. And finally, Selwyn Silk says, JT&T can die now with their long control of the telecommunications sector. Oh my, let the games begin for all players. Well, good answers, people. So tonight I leave you with this question. While Trinidad is removing subsidies on fuel, this nation has been taxing citizens heavily for it. 4 years and across multiple administrations, with the nation literally pumping thousands of barrels of oil a day. Do you think the government should sell some of that oil for a subsidized price on the local market? Think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good, we just might feature it in Thursday's episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. Check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Noriko Bullford saying good night, folks. Hey Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.